As we begin this message, maybe I'll call it, Things Are Not As They Appear to Be, Part 2, subtitled, Ambushing the Ambushers. I want you to know that I am getting into an area, or two areas, that Jesus got into and got himself killed for. Now, when you look at the life of Jesus, at the end of his life, he was preaching and made known what we made known to you last week, that not all is as it appears to be. And he said to them, "You're a bunch of whitewashed sepulchres, but inside you're full of dead men's bones, you snakes, you serpents." That was one area. He was exposing them for what they were. The second area had to do with the area that a lot of people are beginning to understand maybe a little bit better, or wanting to, and that is in the area of economics. He said, "Stop making my Father's house a den of thieves." He began his ministry, most don't know this, but he began his ministry by running the money changers out of the temple, and at the end, when you read, I think it's in the book of John, that was the second time he did it, just prior to them executing him. And so there's two areas that we are getting into now that got Jesus killed. And I would ask that you would grant your preacher your prayers. I believe that through your prayers, he shall be delivered. We're going to go to Amos 3:7. But I want you to know that what I am saying is heard throughout the world, through the worldwide broadcasting on shortwave and on the internet. And we're telling truths that the world, they don't want the world to hear. Last Thursday, on our nightly broadcast, we brought a message dealing with robbery and played a portion of a lecture by Dr. Stuart Crane that will help you understand the banking system like you've never understood it before. And let me assure you, they don't like this kind of thing. Amos 3:7 says, I read, "Surely the Lord does nothing unless he reveals his secret counsel to his servants, the prophets." We are, in this message, going to see what he revealed to the prophets that pertain to our time. And then we are going to do something at this time that the prophecy tells us to do. And when I say we, I'm talking about we, the remnant. You see, this, again, is a message, a meat message, like last Sunday's, for not the masses, but the remnant. Frankly, the hardcore, special remnant that the Bible speaks of as the barley first fruits, the fighting force of the Gideon elite. As I pointed out in Sunday school this morning, as you were watching Pastor Applegate on the screen, there was a time when the entire economic landscape, the whole society, the whole social structure changed in the days of Gideon because of the actions of just but a few. Gideon and 300. There were millions in the land, and most did not even know about Gideon and the 300. But the change came because of what that small little remnant group did, and I want you to know this meat message is for the remnant. And we're going to do something that I believe will change everything. Let's go to some old business from the last message. In the last message, I tried to explain that not everything is in this world as it appears. And it's fun just to start making a list in your own mind when you start thinking outside the box of some of those things. 1 Timothy 3:13, we'll not turn there, but it says, "But evil men and impostors will proceed from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived." Very interesting, deceiving. That is the time we're living in, but it also says, and being deceived. And there's so much deception about us. Things are not as they appear to be. We could make a list. I covered some last week. But, you know, biblically, you could say, hey, that's a field of wheat out there. No, that's not a field of wheat. That's a field of wheat and tares. Or you could say, hey, that's a sheep over there. No, that's not a sheep. That's a wolf that appears to be as a sheep. Well, that's a man over there. No, that's not a man. That's an angel. In the story of Gideon, remember, he thought he had a man coming for supper. It turned out to be an angel. Oh, there's an angel. No, that's not an angel. That's not an angel. Sure looks to me like an angel. What is it? It's a servant of the devil. The Bible says his servants disguise themselves as angels. The point I'm trying to get across is things are not always as they appear to be. And you start looking in our society, inoculations. They make inoculations, vaccinations, if you will, appear to be for your benefit, to help you to have better health and to prevent disease. And I can assure you that they are not that. The news networks appear to be there to give you news. I want you to know they are not there to present news to you. They are there to keep news from you and to form public opinion. Oh, as we listen to the Obama side and we listen to the McCain side and they talk back and forth and so forth and so on, they never tell you about Russia in Venezuela, about the Venezuelan leader being over in China just recently and being over in Russia, and how there's war games going on, and Peter the Great ship that has nuclear missiles on it sitting down but a few thousand miles off our shore, and you don't hear that. Why? Because that's the purpose of the news, is for you not to hear the news. You see, nothing is as it appears to be. On this thing of Barack Obama and Hussein, I keep wanting to use his middle name, Hussein. That is his middle name. I better move on. I got so many things to cover. I might come back to that. Fort Knox. This is an area of economics. So Fort Knox appears to be a well-guarded fort to keep people out and to guard the gold. The reality is Fort Knox is well guarded to keep people from finding out the secret that there is no gold there. Everything is just the opposite. Public schools are there to educate children and to make them smarter. That's the appearance. The reality is just the opposite. I mean, they're getting dumber. It says in this recent court ruling by the appeals court in California by Justice H. Walter Koski, little Jew name, quote, a primary purpose of the educational system is to train children in good citizenship, patriotism, and loyalty to the state and nation. In the quote. That's why he says the main purpose is. In other words, to make global citizens, good New World Order citizens, so they fit into the system quite well. That's the purpose of it. Banks. We are told to get back in this area of economics. People are becoming interested in banks. Our people have always thought that banks were a place where they had these big safes, these big vaults, so you could put your money in the bank and your money would be safe from robbers. The truth of the matter is the purpose of the banks is to get you to put the money in there so the robbers can use it. Frankly, I was thinking today, because I had my shaving kit with me today. I spent the night down here instead of being at the radio ranch. And in my shaving kit, I got some traveler's checks. Let me tell you why I've got traveler's checks. Because I was holding a meeting out in Tennessee one time, and we took an offering. And there was a fair amount of cash that was assembled. And I went to get on the airplane, and they found me with the cash. And I want to tell you something. I was up against the wall. They had the authorities come, and it wasn't even over the amount allowed. I think you're allowed something like $5,000. How much? It wasn't even that. It was about $4,000.